it's Tom Vann. Here's third video in a series of 3 videos. Hope you're digging them. And now today's kind of a good one here. It's when good salespeople go bad. You know, what happens to them? And this it stems from a couple people that I've talked to recently who've done exactly that. And it's not that personally they've gone bad. It means their numbers, their productivity has gone right down the hole. All right, now have you ever experienced something like that? If you have, let's get rid of it now when it comes to selling, because you got to have a great year. This has got to be your year, because this is the climbing year. Okay, so let's take a look. First off, the 2 people that I've talked to, this is where they were previously. After already gone through VSM Plus, the advanced training series, and of course the free training series, had 2 guys. One guy was making about $7,200 a month. Another guy making about $10,600 a month. Both very good figures, right? So the $7,200 a month guy went down to $3,000 a month. It was over a 2-month period that he ended up at about $3,000 a month. A huge hit. Well over, but cut his income in half. $10,600 a month for the other guy dropped to $6,500 a month. Not quite half, but a massive hit. All right, so both people, what happened was I got involved in Skype sessions with them on something called private sessions, where I do one-on-one sessions with people. And the first thing that each one of them told me is that their issue was clients, the amount of clients they have, the amount of people they get to talk to. Now, it's not that they didn't have a few client issues, they weren't talking to as many people, but neither one of these guys were really good at following their stats, so they couldn't tell me all that. So I couldn't verify it, but what I did, I verified how they were going through their methodology. And so what I did was, since I didn't have enough room here for both guys, I kind of summarized what's happening to each one of them just on one sketch here, and then I'll add in a few things so you see what's going wrong and see if sometimes you go wrong the same way, okay? So this is what happens. The client comes into the dealership and they've seen a vehicle priced on the internet. Both guys said they've had quite a bit of this. All right, and so they ask about a specific vehicle that they've seen with the price already. All right, and right out of the box they start going left side here, and they'll go, yeah, sure, let me get the key for you. Right, now they might be pleasant. It sounds like both guys are very pleasant when they talk to clients, but it's like somebody coming in and says, hey, yeah, I saw this truck on the internet, and it's that blue Chevy, and I'd like to check it out because it's really been something I've been looking for. And then excited because they got a client, they'll go, yeah, sure, let me go get the key for you, and I'll show you the whole thing, right? And the client looks through the vehicle and asks, hey, do you mind if I drive it? Yeah, this thing's right up my alley. Well, again, everything seems to be going well, so these guys go, well, yeah, you bet. I just need your copy of your driver's license. Now, by the way, you're trading in your vehicle, right, your Gizmo 200, all right? And the answer is generally, yeah. Now, can you give me meaning the client says, yep. Now, can you give me a figure on it while I go drive my vehicle? I had 2 other dealers already give me $6,500 and $8,000 respectively. And these figures, I just threw those in just to show you how this goes. But these guys, both guys, what they do is they have this tendency to get amped up because they have a client. And they think that things start going well, so they just go with the flow, right? And so one guy, says, yeah, I'll get you a figure going, and the dealership actually does that. And the other guy says, well, I tell you, why don't you just go ahead and you test out the vehicle that you're driving, in this case the Chevy truck, and if you decide that turns out to be the right vehicle for you, then we'll take a look at yours. Because if you don't really like the vehicle, then yours really isn't going to matter in this process, right? So that's kind of what that guy says. And then by the time they drive it and get back, neither guy, by the way, is doing a full walk around and stuff. But by the time the guy gets back, they go, hey, you like it? And then the client oftentimes will say, well, yeah, but my wife really wants to check out a couple other vehicles that they've seen. What can you give me for my, would you guys decide what you're going to give me for my trade? Or they say they like it, and the guy goes, yeah, this is pretty nice. Is that the best you can do on price, though? And then they get involved in struggling with price, and then they lose some of those deals, all right? So it's not that they don't get deals completely, but this is kind of how it starts going. You see that? Did you follow me, how it goes? Client knows, client gets what they're looking for. They came in on that one. The they do the nice guy thing. Hey, yeah, here, let me get the key. Here it is. Check it out. What do you think? Go ahead and give it a drive. When you come back, how do you like it? Well, it's okay. You know, is this the best you can do? And I was thinking about looking at others. And then they're stuck. Then they don't know what to do, and they try to get the managers involved and all that garbage. All right, so does this ever happen to you? All right, my guess is yeah. Now and then this does. You kind of just start flowing with it, and then you don't really recognize what's happening until you end up losing the deal. All right, so this is not cool. All right, so what I want to do is let's check out some of the key points in here and see how we can make you from going bad, from being already great at this, and then all of a sudden going sideways and your numbers going sideways. All right? So, right here, client comes in and they ask about a car. All right, so they come in and they say, oh yeah, I actually saw that Chevy truck online. I've been looking all over for them, that blue one, and I already saw the price tiers. It's kind of in line where I'm going. Can I check the thing out? All right, so right in here is where the problem first starts. All right, it's right here. The client asks about a car, and then we say, yeah, sure, you know, let's go after it. Instead of doing what? All right, we don't know. Remember, we don't know if the blue truck is the right one for them, do we? They think it is. All right, we're not going to ignore the fact that they said it, but the first thing that we ignored here was discovery. And let me tell you, two key parts of discovery we didn't find out here. We didn't find out what problem existed with their vehicle, with the one that they're driving right now. They're trading in a vehicle that's somehow worth somewhere in the midst of this, the Gizmo 200. Why? What's wrong with the Gizmo? These are great cars. Why get out of it? This guy says, well, I really need something to work with because I'm in the construction business. I do a lot of drywall and stuff like that, so I need a vehicle to haul my drywall and all that, right? So let's say the guy says something like that, all right? Now, does that mean that he's picked the right truck? No, it doesn't, right? Now, it could lead you to believe, oh, maybe this guy does need a truck. By the way, maybe he does need a truck. Why does it need to be a Chevy? We don't know yet. Does it need to be an extended cab? Why, if it's for a work truck? I don't know. We don't know. We don't know if the guy has kids. We don't know if his wife goes along with it. We don't know. Maybe the wife's part of the business. We don't know. See, the key is we don't know. Neither of these guys, they don't know. They're just assuming that what the guy's saying is exactly what it needs, so they ignore it. So they ignore that first part of discovery, so they really don't know the problems that exist with this client. So how is it that you, the salesperson, can ultimately come up with the right solutions if you don't know what the problems are? You see, in this process right here, we have already decided how this went, that the client already knows what's best for them, and so they're going to choose. Well, how do you know that? How do you know that by the time they leave you, they don't go out and buy a Yukon or some sport utility vehicle and then pull a trailer that hauls all their stuff on it? How do you know that? You don't know, all right, because you didn't discover. In these cases, these guys, they stopped discovering those problems like they knew that they could. Now, what else didn't happen here? Well, what else happened is that they did not build what? Trust factor. And that becomes a problem too, right? Okay. Did not build the trust factor. And here's the case, is that if you don't build trust with these clients, by the time they get down to the end, it's just a battle and a negotiation. And all of a sudden, whatever you say and whatever you offer up is just a sales pitch. Because there's no reason for them to believe whatever you're going to say or whatever you're going to offer up. Why? They don't trust you. They never had a reason to. And one of the key parts of building trust is you get people to tell their story. You get people to tell their story while they're going through discovery, right? And let them say that. The guy says, you know, let's say we actually did it right, and the guy says, well, I'm the Gizmo. It's been a good car, but I need a truck because I'm got my own construction business. I do a lot of drywall. And you go, hey, you're in the drywall business. Fantastic. How long have you been doing that? Why don't you ask? You know, ask the guy. I'm like, well, I've been doing it for quite a few years. My dad used to be a finished carpenter and such, and so I expanded this thing out. Well, are you working for your dad right now? Well, no, I actually just expanded out and went into a partnership with 3 guys. We already have 2 trucks, and I need to get a truck like this too, because the other one's kind of haul some major equipment for us because we do mass projects. We do a lot of commercial projects, And so we've got a shot at getting a commercial account right now downtown with a group that's building a brand new building down there with over 200 rooms. Whoa, now wouldn't you have wanted to hear that? You see, you don't know if that's the story or not. You can't do it just by making some judgment on how somebody looks or something like that. And if they start telling their story and you go, holy mackerel, man, way to land it. How'd you get the job in the first place? I mean, how do you land a commercial job in something like that? Because I really don't know. How do you land a commercial job like that, especially if you're small and maybe you just started out? How is it that you landed the job? Do you have connections or whatever? You see, because I want to look at every client as in they already know another 200 people that I want to know. So if we start talking about stories and let them tell their story, man, something incredible might pop up that we need to hear in order for us to really help this guy solve his problems and to build a connection that could last for a long time. These guys stopped doing it, okay? Then, where else did it go wrong? All right, right here, sure, I'll get the key. They get the key, the client looks at the vehicle, and can I drive it? You bet. Well, what happened here? And you might not see it or you might not know it, but guess what? No presentation of the vehicle. And no presentation of our, how about, let me start this. No presentation of our service, right, which is our package of extraordinary benefits, right? We didn't get any of that. We didn't get any type of soft commitment or anything. And by the time we jumped down to this, we've skipped a whole bunch of steps. And what didn't we do? No $1 million walk around. New vehicle, used vehicle, whatever it is, you got to do $1 million walk around on both. But if you don't do the $1 million walk around, guess what? How are they really going to know all this stuff? How can you explain why yours is a superior vehicle inside the market? How are they going to know that? You just think they're going to study all that on their own and then they just love you because you happen to have the one magic truck that nobody else has? See, these guys start thinking they got the one magic truck. There is no such thing, man. Now and then you'll get some rare piece, you know, some 12-year-old vehicle with only 10,000 miles on it, but you can't build your career on that vehicle. You can't. So all of a sudden, you do this. Where'd they miss? They're not doing a presentation where they get a soft commitment like, this is what it's like working with us. Do you want to work with us? And no $1 million walk around. They didn't really present the vehicle and give them the power punch. And nor, by the way, one of these guys, especially, the one guy has to, but the other guy, he didn't even go on the road test. Now look, I mean, some people want to go on, some clients want to go on the road test by themselves. Let them go on road test number 2 by themselves. Right? Road test number 1, sure, you go along with them. All right, share some stories about the vehicle and ask them more. Make sure that you get everything out of the way so you understand what needs to get understood. The problem here is that, again, we didn't even understand anything. We're already driving a vehicle, and we don't even know financially where it is they need to be, right, to really end up buying a vehicle. Holy mackerel. You skip over the financials, you skip over all the pieces of the trade. Let's hear stories about the trade. Then how good is this system? It's terrible, man. It isn't working. All kinds of stuff we don't know, right? Your job is to also make sure you find out the financials prior to all this walk-around stuff, because quit picking the vehicle, right? What about the financials? We have to ask, can this guy actually afford this vehicle? Maybe he's a small guy. Maybe he's not going after commercial truck. Maybe it's just some guy that's got a hankering to get involved in work, so he needs a truck. He's looking at a 4x4 Chevy with 40,000 miles on it, and he needs to buy a truck for $200 a month. And he's got no money down, or he already owes $2,000 more than the gizmo's worth. And you're showing him the Chevy? Why? Because you don't know any better. Because you didn't do discovery, you don't know what's happening, you certainly don't know the financials, but somehow you're okay with them falling in love with the truck, spending a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour at your place, or whatever it is, doesn't even matter, in a vehicle that he can't afford, or that he doesn't like, or that really doesn't suit him. Ugh! It's crazy. But that's what these guys are doing. They started skipping over all these things because they were just excited that there was somebody who came in that seemed to know, and it's not one guy, it's a ton of clients. And again, I kind of build a mosaic of a bunch of clients into one here, but it's all of a sudden falling in love with an idea that a client is already coming in to buy because you've got the one truck they want. Man, that's a mistake. Okay? So, and then here, can you give me the figure on it? 2 other dealers, they gave me this. It was great that people are giving them figures. And both guys say that happens quite a bit, too, that they gave them figures on the vehicle, and then they didn't do anything about it. Right? They didn't talk about financials. They could have right there. And then they started, hey, do you like it? See, they didn't rate out the vehicle or anything like that. They didn't discover what they needed to. And immediately, right down at the bottom of it, they come up with objections that they can't overcome. The client wants to see other vehicles. Or the guy's wife wasn't there, and his wife told him that, well, go look at the vehicle, but I'm going to look at others later. And then she's not there. But we don't know that. We don't know what she knows. We don't know what she wants. We don't know how important it is that maybe this truck's completely for her. But you see, we never discovered it. We never knew. And we never built trust, so none of that has ever been known. And so by the time we get down to the bottom here, maybe we start pulling in managers and all that stuff. What happens to gross? What happens to your referrals down the road? They'll go right down the toilet. All right, so what ends up happening is once you start not getting all this information and then presenting the right vehicle or multiple vehicles that will work, or what else you might be able to have at other dealerships that y'all own, or ones that you can find, or ones that are being traded in, all that goes out the window. Because you ultimately were just so excited about finally selling a vehicle that you stop doing what you know to be right. You see, this is when good salespeople go bad, and all of a sudden you get your income that drops from these type of things to these. Your income gets cut in half, or your productivity drops by 30% or something like that. Man, you're in trouble. Because once your productivity drops by 30%, everybody questions you. You question yourself. Your confidence kind of goes right out the freaking window, and away you go. The good news is that both these guys ended up going through private sessions with me. And not only did we cure this right away, because getting back to this was easy, as long as I went through step by step with each of these guys, and we did all that too, with each guy. All right, so these guys climbed right back up to where they were. One guy really shot above, which was this guy, went way above the 10.6. The other guy was back up to here by the time we finished the sessions. And that actually, we were in slower months for where that guy is in the country. So he really did grow. This guy grew back up to like 12 grand, or grew up to about 12 grand. And then what happened was, we got involved in the private sessions. We went back to VSM Plus, and we hooked the guy up. And then at the same time, what I talked to both these guys was how it is you end up getting more clients. Right? I talked to a lot of them about referrals, how to do some very easy things so that the referrals happen. Not least of which is building this trust factor. Okay? So look, here's the deal, and here's the key. When you're going through your selling methodology, and you might get pushed and pulled by managers and all that stuff, I'm telling you, you got to get yourself on track to do it. And I can show you how to do it, but you got to get involved in VSM Plus. And right now I'm giving away private sessions, free private sessions, which are 1 hour, one-on-one sessions with me. And there's 5 of them, so it's 5 hours total. All right, and we'll talk either once a week or once every 2 weeks to make certain that you are on track the way you need to be. Right? And that's not only in the selling methodology, but that's also strategies on how you can build your database, not only in the short term, but also in the long term, so you build the career you want to. So you're making money like this dude is, who's back up to 12 grand, but you can make more than that. Or let's just say you're struggling, you just want to get started, you want to get yourself to where you're making $5,000 a month. I can certainly help you get there. All right? Those are pretty easy numbers. Right? So, but here's the deal. Without help, and you just do it on your own, it's a massive struggle. I know it is. Now, you might be one of those people where you can soak in information, you learn everything from one calling, and away it goes, right? I'm telling you is that most people, they need the help. And so I'm offering this up. These I'm giving away for free right now for people to purchase the VSM Plus. And if you don't want to, or you're scared to do it, don't do it. It's okay. Because I keep pulling out, some free videos for you. I'll keep sending them your way. Go back to the free training series. If you're not part of the free training series, get back to it, because there's a ton of great information on the series. You see, they're never throwaway things. I got some stuff on YouTube too. That's really good. But that free series, that's pretty hot. But if you really believe that 2015 could be your power year, then you get VSM Plus and then get on these private sessions with me. All right, so I'm offering these up. I haven't offered this up in a couple of months or something like that. So if you want to get involved, I only got a limited amount of spots. I had to shut down about, I don't know, 14, 15 people last time. All right, so if you're one of those 14, 15, come on, get involved this time. But because I still got only a certain amount of spaces left to give away the free private sessions, okay? So anyway, I'll be sending you one more video tomorrow, and it's going to explain a lot about VSM Plus. If you really don't know about VSM Plus, I'm going to take you through some of the guts of it so you can see how it could work for you in your career, in your dealership with the products that you use, where you are located in the world. I do a lot of work in Canada. A lot of work in Canada. I do a lot of work in Australia. Australia is really big. I do, well, quite a bit of work in the UK. A lot of spots. I'm in over 100 countries now, so it's really all over the place. But those are the mass groups, and of course, United States is still the biggest, right? But it doesn't matter to me where you are. It doesn't, because what you find is that when you truly understand human psyche and how you can use it to your benefit, really leverage that to build the career that you need to build, then you'll build the career for the next 15, 20 years, and it's not going to be all that tough for you. Not like you think it might be. So let's get the big numbers. Check out one more video that's coming tomorrow and sign up. I hope you want to get involved. If not, at least take everything you can from these videos, okay? This is Tom. Thanks for tuning in, and stay good. All right? Adios. Talk to you soon.